Okay. Good day, everyone. Afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on where you are located. Thank you very much for joining in today's session as we are discussing the experiential learning to see how can it be integrated to curriculum. So today we are having esteemed speakers who are going to be sharing their experiences, their knowledge, and what they've been going through in their journeys around the experiential learning, and see its importance and its value in our education. So I'll just give a brief synopsis of who are they, and then we take it from there. So the one who's speaking is Crispin Ndlovu. I'm based in South Africa at the University of the Free State, doing my PhD in development studies and focusing on social entrepreneurship, how social entrepreneurship enhances student capabilities and human development in higher education. So I've got interest also around the issues of sustainability, impact, and monitoring systems. So this is a great pleasure to be in this room and sharing such started Palm University with $50, 50 US dollars, and now it covers 57 acres property with academic, administrative, and residential facilities. Wow, this is interesting, Peter. I wish to know, how did you make it to start in a university with $50? It's interesting to know. I think we hear more as you come and share your story. Then our next person is Blessy M. Amani. Blessy is a social entrepreneur, a human rights advocate, and founder of two startup organizations, Global Innovation Valley. One of them is Global Innovation Valley, which aims to empower refugee and marginalized youth from host communities to become social entrepreneurs and job creators. Global Human Rights Campaign, his second enterprise, promotes human rights advocacy and provides sustainable skills for vulnerable refugees. So he's focusing mainly on refugees. So the last person I'm going to present is Judith Wafula, Dr. Judith Wafula, who's the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Research, Collaborations, and Community Outreach at Lukenya University in Kenya. Her background in analytical chemistry, educational administration, and peace studies combined with skills in school management and challenge-based learning drives her commitment to advancing education, fostering collaboration, and enhancing transfer of technology. So these are the three presenters that we are having that I've given their short summary of their bio. So the first person that would come to share his experience and his knowledge is Peter Carlos. Peter Carlos, the floor is yours. I wish to know really what happened. How did you make it to start a university with the $50? So maybe these are some of the key issues that we're going to be looking at, or that we're expecting to get out of this presentation. First, just to understand the learn and share the cutting edge methods for integrating real world projects into curriculum based on these three speakers, on their experiences, and also discover the strategies, how they are enhancing student engagement, and also looking at to explore the ways to connect with academic concepts into the real world application, then also understanding the skills development through this experiential learning, as they are going to be sharing with us also, and then also learning the methods to assess the impact of this experiential learning on students and communities. Because we're talking of impact, we're talking about this experiential learning. How then can we measure that this indeed is impacting and giving a good impact that we are looking at in terms of accelerating the achievement of our sustainable development goals, and of course gaining ideas for creating flexible and adaptive curriculum. Lastly, but not least, is to also build connections with stakeholders for future collaboration. So this is the platform wherein we are meeting from different angles of the world so that we can decide how best can we integrate and collaborate for future engagements towards accelerating and promoting social entrepreneurship and experiential learning. Thank you very much, Peter. The floor is yours. Share us, tell us how to start a university with $50.
Thank you very much, Chris. Thank you for the introduction. Yes, I started a university indeed with $50. I was a student in the US studying, and based on my personal experiences growing up in Ghana and the struggles to access higher education, and my exposure to the US brought me to a place where I conceived the vision to set up a 4-year liberal arts university that is focused on educating ethical and excellent leaders. And after 12 years or so, since the university was set up in Ghana, we've been making a lot of progress. But the vision was conceived in 2005, and I set up a foundation in the US in 2006 that I have used to raise millions of dollars to award scholarships to brilliant but financially disadvantaged students, and also acquire 57 acres of land, as you said, and have put together, we've put together the academic and administrative buildings. And we started with 1 program and 6 students at a degree level. And today we have 9 programs, associate degrees, bachelor's degrees, and master's degrees put together. So we're grateful. So yes, that is where we are. The programs are designed in such a way that is a blend of computer science, information technology, and business, both at the associate, bachelor's, and master's degree levels. We are located in Shire Hills, in Accra, Greater Accra, and specifically Ghana. So wherever you are listening to us from, you're welcome to visit Palm. Our students are typical college-age students. So once you have a high school certificate, you can apply. You can also apply as a mature student into our undergraduate programs. And for the master's programs, as long as you have an IT background and health services or administration background or a medical background, you can apply and enroll in our programs. Yes. So we can move to the next slide. The issue of experiential learning for us at Palm, please, the previous slide. We can go to the previous slide. It's so important to us because at the end of the day, when students graduate from a university, you want to ensure that whatever they have learned in the university translates into industry. So we have tied this into our mission. As you can tell, the first bullet, we have tied that into our mission to ensure that every student that we graduate fits purposefully into a corporate environment, wherever they find themselves on the continent and in the nation, they should be able to function properly. And so we want to ensure that the experiential learning processes and experiences ensures that our students are creative, they are innovative, that they are ready to serve wherever they find themselves, and they have a mentality for sustainability, because whatever we are building, we want to ensure that posterity can also enjoy it. And so by way of the second bullet, everything that we are doing, we tie it into our curriculum. In fact, our curriculum, before they are put together, we consult with industry experts. And then when the curriculum is put together, we send it back to them to actually review it and give us feedback to ensure that whatever we are teaching or we're going to teach in the programs before they are accredited are relevant to industry, that they are relevant to real life experiences, and whatever they are, in whatever their professions are. This approach to learning, I believe, not just in Palm, but everywhere across the continent or in the world, if adopted, would help bridge the gap between theory and practice. Because what it does, and that is what we believe in at Palm, that the students, as I said earlier, end up being equipped with practical hands-on skills. Okay, hands-on skills, so that when they graduate, they are able to apply their learning, what they have learned in school. Please, the next slide. And so the question is, how do we do it at Palm? You know, it's not a matter of just talking about it, but it's also an issue of being able to do it. And so when we are putting together our course outlines, or what you would call a syllabus, we ensure that every class has incorporated in it opportunities for our students to go out to experience what is happening in the field. So we call it field trips. Once or twice a semester, every department at the university organizes field trips and takes our students to, tech hubs, museums, heritage centers and laboratories, and other industry destinations to ensure that our students actually interact with experts and professionals in the field. So they are not just hearing what is being taught in terms of theory, models, and what do we call it? Models and concepts, but rather they get the opportunity to get off the campus to go and interact. As you can see in the pictures, the one to my far right, they were in a tech hub, and there's an officer who's walking them through what they do. They visited the Kwame Nkrumah Mausoleum, to get a dosage of, humanities and social sciences. We also have internships. These are required for graduations. Every student at Palm is required to participate in internships. As I speak, our students are in several industry destinations, companies doing their internships. And so they have about 180 hours of internships to cover before they graduate. And so these industry partners we collaborate with, we actually visit them and facilitate the process of ensuring that our students come and not just make photocopies, but rather get the opportunity to experience what is happening within the organization as far as their professional development is concerned. And then they fill out report forms and they submit it to the organization and to the university. And the university follows up to ensure that the students actually learned. And then the industry partner also gives us feedback to ensure that there is learning and experiential learning has actually taken place. Please, you can move to the next topic.
Sorry, Mr. Peter, I will cut short. I think our time there is a bit running fast. I see that you have got a lot of work and that we have done. So I think also your LinkedIn profile is shared on the group. So people, I think they can also engage more on our next session when we are doing the breakout sessions. But I believe that we are hearing that Peter is doing great stuff around education, because what I'm just getting from his presentation is that, look, experience is the great teacher that turns knowledge into wisdom and learning into living. So if we really understand that from that point of view, definitely we'll see the value of experiential learning as portrayed by his institute and his work that he's doing. So thank you very much for that. I would just ask to get the next presenter, that is Judith. It was Plessy, sorry, should be Plessy who's coming in. Then Plessy is also, can you go to the next slide? Oh, it's Judith. Sorry. I thought it was a blessing. Okay, Judith was also talking about some experiential learning examples from the Kenyan perspective. We'll appreciate to hear more from you, Judith. This is your time.
Thank you so much, Chris. Yeah, so I'll just be giving examples that we have from our Kenyan experience in Lukenya University. Lukenya University is on the southeastern part of Kenya. So just go to the next slide, please. So these are some of the examples where we expose our students to various activities in environmental protection. So the first case is indicating cleanup in one of the towns within the region, that's Kibwezi town within the southeastern region. And students planting trees. We have the 10 million tree program where we take trees to schools, primary, secondary schools, and also community members. So this is showing some of those schools. One of the schools whereby we're involving students in the environmental protection through planting of trees. And we also do this even with other partners. In the photo down there, we have Mama Doing Good, which is Office of the First Lady. We collaborate with them in the that is the 10 million tree program. And that was one of those occasions. We usually have also a marathon that we do once a year, that is in March every year. We had the last one on 24th March this year, and that's one of the photos whereby we create awareness on environmental protection. Next slide. Here I'm talking here about challenge-based learning as also a way of experiential learning, whereby students are involved in projects. We have had our students doing innovations. That is some of, for example, we have the Food Systems and Innovation Challenge together with Wageningen University in Netherlands. And it's a program also of food and agriculture organization where our students are involved. They come up with their own innovation and develop it, and then they present it. So these are some of the projects. The first one was a project on we had some fruits that we had planted there, and then the next one we have the hydropan. Hydropan project, you can also be able to find it online on that link that I have given. And then this is a project that a student began at Lukenya University, but has extended it to his community back at home where he stays. So down there, where there are vegetables, that's a project he has implemented. After implementing at Lukenya University, he went and implemented back at home in his community. He attended the World Food Forum, that's the photo on the right down there. He was at the World Food Forum where he presented the project, and he was even awarded a 750 euro award for his project. Up there, we were doing hydroponics projects where students come up with the projects. The next slide, please. Next, there's competency-based curriculum that we have in Kenya. So, okay, the photo there, I made it a bit blurred because it involved some students that we are working together with, some children in just bringing out their competencies in various areas. What happens is that our students from the university, they go to the school, students from different clubs. If it's a music club, they go and interact with them in the line of music. If it's a drama club, they do drama. If it's a mentorship club, they do some mentorship with them, just to bring out the sustainable development goals. So it's part of Education for Sustainable Development program that students now are able to acquire various skills in the same. We have mentorship and peer counseling at the university. So this is one of the sessions that we had at the university. Every Wednesday, the students have the mentorship program where they mentor. each other. That's a peer mentorship program within the university. And the students also go out to secondary schools. So on the right on the right, we have a photo whereby a student is talking to some students from secondary schools, just mentoring them on various topics. So the students go to different schools. Every semester, we have different schools where the students go to. Next. Yeah, so that's it. Oh, I think there was something to do also with the businesses that students do within the university. We have the Lukanya University Students Association, whereby they have some projects. They take care, or they're in charge of the student center. Student center has spaces where students can do business. So the association is the one that runs all those businesses in terms of deciding who is to do business in which room. So they ensure that it's only students that are doing businesses. If one graduates, they leave the space for others who are continuing students to take up the space. So those are ways that we address experiential learning. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Judith, for these interesting experiences that you are showing us that you are doing with your students at your university. It's really interesting to find that you are talking about 10 million trees, that you are being in the 10 million trees program that is emphasizing the issue of environmental sustainability there, which is really outstanding. And also we talked about hydroponics, food related stuff there, which is so interesting also, because I think I would give this quote from this other professor would say, it is through agriculture where the battle for long-term economic development can be won or lost. So we can talk of everything and all what we can talk about, as long as we are not investing much in agriculture, especially in an African context, we are not really getting much of what we are doing. So what we are doing definitely is advancing and promoting the sustainable development goals, and also bringing the experiential aspect as building up from what Peter was saying initially. That's really wonderful, and thanks very much for that, Engi. So I think now I'm giving a room to Blasi. Blasi comes with a different approach to say, look, yes, you can talk of going to the university, going to college is good, but let's also see what can we do to those who might not have a chance to go to a university, but we still need them to live a life. We still need to live, to value life, to do what they can do best in their communities and impact and create a positive change around their communities. Blasi, over to you.
Yes, thank you, Crispin. Am I audible?
Very much audible.
Okay. My name is Blaise Amani, and I'm from original for Democratic Republic of Congo. Now it is 10 years. I'm living a life of a nomadic in Eastern Africa. That is just to support young people to create sustainable development solutions in order to solve the challenges of their community. Um, I've worked with the different marginalized community, including refugee camps, and also in order to support people to change their perspective of life to become self-sustainable and self-development. Um, yeah. Next slides. Yes, we'll be presenting about shifting the education system to learn to live and applied learning. Mainly, it is about presenting the framework that is a learning model that we developed by Social Innovation Academy, because I'm part of a member of a Social Innovation Academy, and which today I will be presenting the way the a learning system that is so inclusive and is not based on the level of education, is not based the level of ability, but what we believe is everyone has potential. It is matter to give them the space to unleash this potential in order to make the changes of the world. Next slide. Yeah, in the world there is more challenges, and those challenges, people they are looking for the solutions, and you find like a one person will not be in the position for 2 or 3 challenges that is in the world, but the major purpose and the goals is to give people at least an opportunity of everyone can be in the position to be unfolded, and also to create, to see the challenges and then to create the solution out of from those challenges, that it will be very sustainable and make the world a nice place or better place for everyone to live. Next, please. Next slide, please. Yes, the framework, the SINA framework has 3 pillars, and those 3 pillars majorly is about the enterprises, that it is about the operation and also the process of operating in the organizations. And the secondly, it is about the community, that it is the life that are people living within the community. Once we see the community, we see the environment that people live, because our learning space, it is residential learning space where at least everyone come from different places. They come one place and they start to learn from they start to learn, and you find like where they are living, where we call a community now, which is very very different from the enterprises. Once we say the enterprises, it is about the workspaces that we are saying now. This the third pillar is about the empowerment, and which I will go deep to explain about how the education system that is very inclusive and support people to create uh, uh, the solution to the global challenges. Yes, next slide. Yes, we the empowerment program, it has been implemented in various countries and in different places, that is including refugee camps. Like here, it is in the Kakuma refugee camps, where young people they are going through the framework in order to support and to create the hope, because in the refugee camp you find like people come from different countries, and also they have different circumstances that has brought them to come in the refugee camps. Now it become a bit challenging, but the framework is supporting them at least to bring the hope that they've lost before, and also to create the meaningful of their life. Next slide. Now, this is the framework. The framework has 5 pillars, but these 5 pillars is divided into 3 parts. And the first part, it is about personal development. That is, someone just found the purpose. They understand why they are living and why they are created, and to understand where they are going, to create the vision for their life, to break their limiting belief that they are having. Now there is another part that is the biggest part, that is about professionalism, that is professional development. Now the person have understand who they are. Now they can be in the position now to create the ability in order to create out of the ability that they have to create the solutions, and also uh, the sustainability about their life and the people who they are living around them. Now, the other part is about the social enterprise development. In this level, people they have gone through the personal developments and also the professional development, where they try to identify the skills, they identify the capacity and the ability, the knowledge that they have, that they could also to identify also the challenges in the community that they are living. Then they grow in the process of transforming all the resources, all the gifts that they have into a social enterprises development. So social enterprises. These enterprises, it is not just an enterprises. One, it has 2 way. The first one is to solve the challenges of the community. The second way is to make sure the founder become a self-sustainable and also create job opportunity for people around them. Next slide. But in this empowerment concept, you find it has 5 pillars. One, come back please. One is about confusion stage. someone doesn't know anything, back please, back. Okay, someone does not know anything, then they go to another state that it is emerging stage. Then later in the emerging state, they start to develop the solutions, the solution, the problem that they have identified. Then they go to the concentration where they start to concentrate to transform the idea that they have into a meaningful product that is solving the challenges of the community. Later they go to the linking. After linking, they go to concentration, acceleration. Then later in acceleration, they go in the mastery level where they start to enjoy, they connect with other social entrepreneurs, and also they bring a sustainable life. Now, social innovations framework, that is SINA framework, has been replicated in different various countries, that is Zimbabwe. Currently, we have a 20 community that has been uh, is working with the SINA framework and impacting people across Africa, Sub-Saharan Africa, and also uh, we are aiming to replicate this to different places because we need everyone to contribute to the changes of this world. And this framework has been able to support around 80 enterprises has been created there. Then I will go quicker. We'll show the example of some of the enterprises that have been created and the life story of these peoples. Please quick. Yes, this is John Lubega is one of our beneficiary who went through the framework, but she did not complete the schools. Why? Because she was struggling with malaria, and then that has led her not to finish the school. Then she started to think what could be done in order her to start. Then she joined the program. She's an Ugandan by nationality. She joined the program. After joining the program, through the problem that she has about malaria, she come up with a solution that is very, very sustainable to fight the malaria. She created soap that is called organic soap that is fighting the malaria across Africa and also beyond Africa.
Thanks very much,
Because our product is
Leslie. Apologies, the time is just running, and we've gone beyond your allocated time. But thanks very much for the experiences that you are sharing. It really shows that look, education is not only happening in class; it can also happen in anywhere. Anyway, what is important is that you create a space and an environment that activates people to think and apply their capabilities and their skills, so they learn to live, as you would put it, rightly so. So thanks very much for the three presenters that we had now. So our next session is going to be like this. These three people who presented, as we are following up their conversation, you might have got some interest in one of their presentation and maybe just want to get more on what is it all about and how are they doing their projects and their work. So we're going to create 3 breakaway rooms where in the other one will be Peter, other one will be Judith, and other one will be Blessy, based on their presentation. So anyone is welcome to navigate and get into one of these 3 groups. And then in those groups, we expect people to create, maybe choose a leader within the group who is just going to manage the presentation, the session. That's for 10-minute session where we are sharing more experiences, or where maybe we want to ask questions to the presenter, and then from there we'll come back after 10 minutes after we have done your presentation in those groups. So I'd encourage that let's give each other an opportunity to say something and learn from each other during those 10 minutes breakaway groups. So Komi, I think maybe you create the groups and allocate these individuals into those groups, or people then just choose the group that they feel like they're comfortable with, especially based on the presentation that was shared in the last 30 minutes.
Yes, I believe everyone is coming back now.
Okay, so how many seconds can you give, or just reconvene here? All right, maybe I see Judith is back, and yeah, seemingly people are back. Thanks very much. So I believe I went through some of the groups, and I heard people were really engaging. Some asking about leveraging technology, some asking Peter again to say, tell us, how did you make it with the $50? They're still interested in all those kind of narrations. So maybe now I'll just give maybe 3 people who have got anything to reflect in this presentation. And either it's a question or it's a reflection. What do you think you can do better? What maybe your major concerns or questions that we have around the experiential learning and the experiences that we got from our presenters? So you can raise up your hand, and then you will unmute yourself to speak. Just 3 hands for this session. Then we take it to the next. Okay, I see 2 hands there raised. It's a Bengo Onyuka and Lillian. They will come in, then Lillian will follow. Unmute yourself and speak, Bengo.
Okay. Thanks a lot to all the contributors and attendees of this meeting. And the discussion so far have been quite effective in bridging academia and industry, of which I believe all this experiential learning is all about. So for me, it's just about the sustainability, how we can be able to ensure that once we have gained traction by establishing links, we can be able to sustain it so that we can achieve the intended outcome within the community, because the knowledge is to impact changes within the community so that we can be able to address both the social and environmental challenges. Thank you.
Okay, thanks very much for that. I think with issue of sustainability, then maybe let's get the second, Lillian, second question. Then we'll ask the presenters to just share their views around the question that were raised.
Mine is a reflection and a question. Mainly that I noticed that most of the experiential learning experiences that we were able to see are physical experiences, which are very important because that's when you have people engaging in their totality present in all experiential learning. But I also want to reflect and notice that there wasn't an aspect of speaking about online experiential learning. And so my question to the group is, what's your take around online experiential learning and the use of different tools such as maybe gamification and different ways of just engaging students on a day-to-day basis in learning experientially online, and even maybe in classes as well, not in just one space situations, but on a daily basis.
Okay, thanks. Maybe let's just get the last hand, then we'll just ask each presenters just to have a 30 seconds reflection on the questions. Then there's Mirasi Melchizedek. Mirasi, unmute and speak.
Sure. Thank you so much. Yes, it's been a very insightful session. I think this is it's a great challenge to the higher institutions of learning, really, because if you look at the structure of how universities and colleges, the traditional universities and colleges are structured, and where we are going, I think this is going to be the new way of learning, really, of conducting education. And so, to me, I think the role of learning experience or the really designing learning experiences for the new education system is really something that we need to take in place. So I'm just curious to see how these institutions are making use of learning experience designers or some of the frameworks of the learning experience design that they are putting in place or utilizing to make sure that their curriculum are in line, or to make sure that the people that are going through the curriculum actually accomplish the objectives of the courses. Because I mean, we talk about where we want to reach, where the arrival, but we've not talked a bit more about the inner details of the curriculum. What goes, how are these curriculums structured, the process of coming up with this structure and making sure that we actually reach the intended goals. Just also to highlight, I think it's a research that was conducted by Yale University, that only 10% of learning actually happens in classroom, and then the 20% is through peers, peer-to-peer learning, and coaches, and through mentorship, and then 70%, which is the huge chunk, happens by doing. And so that's really how learning has been taking place since time immemorial. So I wanted to reflect on those and ask that question.
Okay, thank you very much, Melchizedek, for that reflection. So I think maybe, I don't know if Peter or Judith have got something to say. Somebody mentioned the issues of sustainability of this kind of experiential learning. Then Lillian also mentioned around the considering using leveraging technology around to maybe consider the online experience versus physical, and those kind of extended ways of engaging the students and people to have a hands-on understanding of this learning. So maybe in 30 seconds each, what is your reflection on on what these three people said?
So by way of sustainability for us, what we do is, I believe I'm active. You can hear me, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So for us, it's an issue of constantly reviewing our curriculum. As I said earlier when I was speaking, we work with corporate partners to give feedback. And so we constantly involve them. We have a corporate advisory council that is made up of, industry professionals, CEOs, and HR executives. And so we constantly work with them. And then we also review our curriculum regularly. We come up for reaccreditation. So we have to certainly look at these processes. In terms of online learning, yes, we have online learning approaches incorporated into our teaching and learning processes. We don't have full online degrees for a purpose. We don't think we're there yet, and we're not ready for that as a university and as a people. But we incorporate that in different aspects of the teaching and learning process, and students engage with faculty from that perspective. We have a whole online learning platform for our students where we interact and engage. Yes.
Okay, thanks very much, Peter, for that. I think you really touched it because on your presentation you mentioned something. So maybe if people are interested in engaging with you more, I saw your link, your LinkedIn profile has been shared on the chat, so we can still engage further beyond this session. Thanks very much for these reflections and the questions, and it was a pleasure having you to discuss this kind of experiential learning and how do we see it from different perspectives, from different universities and from different platforms. So, okay, I think maybe because of our time, Judith, unfortunately, I wouldn't be able to give you an opportunity. I'll pass it to Komi. I think there's a next person who needs to come in here and also share something with us.
No worry, we can let Judith speak a little bit. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, it's fine.
Yes.
It's okay. My decision has been overpowered. Judith, you can come in, share your reflection that you had.
Thank you, Chris.
Yes.
Yeah, so for us, we sustain this experiential learning by ensuring that as they carry out these projects here in the university, they can be able even to go back home and do them. So it's an issue of ensuring that they transfer that experience even wherever they go. And on using some online tools, okay, we have MLIMU that we're using for our online, and it's able to help us even have learning labs that we can be able to provide students with those learning experiences. And also this, like ChatGPT, Gemini, they're really helpful tools that we can be using also for our students to help them build or do so many things like infographics and many others. So I think I'll leave it at that. And there's so much that you can do online in relation to giving those experiences.
Okay, thanks very much for that reflection, Judith. I appreciate you brought the issue of AIs there, which is also has got heavily conditions around higher education to say how then do we manage it in terms of ethics and trying to minimize that it becomes human thinking, going just beyond that, where students just going into the internet and or the AI, then they create and then they submit. So the issues I think around also ethics and proper usage of those AIs is quite important and something that needs to be continuously discussed to get a proper way forward on that. Thanks very much on that. I think I'll hand over to Komi and the next person coming in should be Jonas, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, Peter, Chris, Judith, and Blaise for sharing your amazing insights. And thanks, everyone, for joining this Africa Academic Hubs event. So we believe in the power of collaboration to prepare the next generation of change maker. And to achieve it, we propose these following initiatives: to share, to collaborate, to educate, and to act. And Cindy, my teammate, will drop here in the chat 10 reasons to join Africa Academic Hubs and Catalyst 2030. You can join Africa Academic Hubs via our website member portal. And to get more involved, we encourage you to share your current research in social entrepreneurship topics, to present in conferences such as the AACOSE, or join the African Network for Social Entrepreneurship scholars. Also, please take out 1 or 2 minutes to tell us how engaging this space were for you. So please help us to do this. Thank you. And also, while you are filling the poll, we would like to invite you to our upcoming Social Impact Educators Learning Series. It's a professional development program in higher education to empower educators by incorporating the latest trends and best practice in social entrepreneurship into the courses. Also, with the Medium link in the chat, we invite you to share your best work that will advance our mission to igniting system change for positive social change. Also, Catalyst, one of the fastest movements in the world. And to find more about Catalyst 2030, please visit our social media page. And finally, as we depart today, we would like to thank AACOSE and ANSES for your partnership and support. Before we leave, let us carry the spirit of Ubuntu, remembering that I am because we are, and together we can build a brighter future for Africa. And we wish everyone peace and energy to keep up your great work.